What if I told you that one of the biggest lies you learned in school is about Jupiter? Because Jupiter is not a giant ball of gas. It's not even close. It's a liquid planet, a liquid metal planet. And what scientists discovered inside it is so strange, it breaks almost every rule of planetary science. Today, we dive deep into the core of the largest, weirdest mystery in our entire solar system. Buckle up. This story begins with Jupiter's first close-up photograph captured in 1974 by NASA's Pioneer 11 spacecraft, and the first moving image from Voyager 1 in 1979. The more we looked at Jupiter, the more confused we got. Those swirling clouds looked incredible, yes, but they told us almost nothing. What is Jupiter made of? Why is it so massive? And why does its interior behave like nothing else in the universe? Before we dig inside, let's talk scale. Jupiter is heavier than all other planets combined. It could fit 1,000 Earths inside it. To visualize this, if Earth were the size of a grape, Jupiter would be a basketball. So whatever is happening inside this monster is happening on a scale we can barely imagine. The classic theory you probably learned in school says this: billions of years ago, the newborn sun was surrounded by a spinning disk of rock, metal, gas, and dust. Small chunks collided, became bigger chunks, gravity kicked in, and eventually, Jupiter's core grew massive enough to pull in huge amounts of gas. Under that theory, Jupiter should have a solid, heavy, Earth-sized core made of rock and metal. But scientists now know that is not correct. There's also a wild, alternative theory. What if Jupiter formed like a failed star? A giant cloud of gas outside the early solar system that collapsed under its own weight. If that were true, Jupiter might have no solid core at all. Both theories sound reasonable. Both turn out to be wrong. Our first real clue came in July 1995, completely by accident. A comet named Shoemaker-Levy 9 slammed into Jupiter. This kind of impact happens roughly once every 6,000 years, and somehow, humanity was watching at the perfect moment. The comet had already split into a couple dozen pieces. The biggest chunk was 2 kilometers across, traveling at 216,000 kilometers per hour. NASA had the Hubble telescope watching, but the impacts were happening on Jupiter's far side, completely out of view from Earth. Luckily, at that exact moment, NASA's Galileo spacecraft was arriving at Jupiter. It had a front row seat. Over 6 days, Galileo recorded 21 massive collisions. The largest explosion was equal to 300 million atomic bombs, the biggest blast ever recorded in our solar system. When Jupiter rotated into view, Hubble saw enormous black scars in the clouds and debris plumes over 1,000 kilometers high. And here's the crazy part. Galileo flew through the debris, giving humanity its first look at what lies beneath Jupiter's clouds. And what it found changed everything. Inside the cloud debris was water. A lot of water. That shock discovery forced scientists to build a new mission dedicated to solving Jupiter's mysteries. That mission was Juno, launched in 2011, arrived in 2016, and it revealed the truth behind Jupiter's mind-bending interior. Everything we see on Jupiter, the swirls, storms, and famous Great Red Spot, is just a thin 50-kilometer layer of clouds. These clouds are made from super cold water ice and ammonia. Lightning storms crackle across the atmosphere. Slushy ammonia water hailstones form, fall, melt, evaporate, rise again, over and over. The Great Red Spot? It's not just a storm. It's a monster, thousands of kilometers wide, hundreds of kilometers deep, higher than any other cloud on Jupiter. A giant tower absorbing UV light, chemically changing into that deep red color. If you stack 10 Mount Everests and 10 oceans on top of each other, it still wouldn't match the scale of the Great Red Spot. But here's the twist. That's nothing compared to what lies underneath. As you sink below the clouds, pressure skyrockets, heat rises, gas compresses, and something incredibly strange happens. The atmosphere becomes so dense, it turns into a liquid. At about 1,000 kilometers down, hydrogen gas transforms into liquid hydrogen, creating the largest ocean in the solar system. This ocean is 20,000 kilometers deep. Not water, not normal liquid. A liquid formed by pressure, not cold. At these depths, temperatures exceed 1,000 degrees Celsius, yet hydrogen stays liquid because the pressure is beyond extreme. This alone would make Jupiter bizarre. But we're only halfway down. Deeper still, hydrogen undergoes a transformation so wild that scientists didn't even believe it at first. It becomes metallic hydrogen, a shimmering, electrically conductive liquid metal. Down here, at 10,000 degrees Celsius and millions of times Earth's surface pressure, electrons break free from atoms. Electricity flows like in a metal. Jupiter generates its insane magnetic field. This liquid metallic hydrogen layer is 40,000 kilometers deep, the vast majority of the entire planet. But what lies beneath it is the biggest shock of all. Scientists once believed Jupiter had a neat, solid, Earth-sized core. Juno destroyed that idea. Instead, there's something called a fuzzy core, a huge region, half the planet's radius, where rock, metal, liquid hydrogen, liquid metal hydrogen all blend together with no boundary. It's like a giant, chaotic, super hot, high-pressure soup. How did Jupiter get a core like this? One theory suggests a massive early collision with a rocky planet 10 times Earth's size. The impact could have mixed the core into the surrounding layers. But simulations show the core should have settled back into a solid ball over time. Yet Jupiter's core never did. So the truth? We don't know. For everything we've discovered, Jupiter remains a massive, beautiful mystery. A liquid planet, a metal ocean, a fuzzy core that breaks the rules of physics, and a formation history that still doesn't make sense. It is the greatest and strangest puzzle in the sky, and one day, we'll finally understand how this liquid metal giant was born. Until then, Jupiter remains the most mysterious planet in our solar system.